This is myLightMeter Pro, and you've got a lot of power in this little app. I paid about $2.99 for it on the App Store, and I've actually seen comparisons of this app with pro-level Sekonic light meters, and this thing is ridiculously accurate. And the fact that it's always in your pocket makes it all the better, especially when Sekonic light meters are roughly $200, $300, $400, $500 depending on which model you buy. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the features and functions. First thing we've got is read file. So if you happen to transfer a lot of images from your camera over to your phone, you can read the light data from those images, and it will set you up with all the different settings that you needed to get that particular exposure. Really handy function to have if you're just trying to remember what your settings were at a particular location. Average is if you happen to want to take a reading of the darkest portion of the image as compared to the lightest portion of the image, and then sort of average that out to get your exposure value. Super duper handy. Mode will put you into, it will swap you from between incident and reflected light mode. Okay, so if you happen to want to do a reflected image, then you can do that, or if you want to do incidental, where you swap it over here. If you've ever seen one of those, I think they're called expo discs, and you basically just put it over the front of your lens, and it sort of blends all the incoming light in together, and then you basically take an exposure value reading based on that. It's the same principle. Obviously, reflected is, you know, whatever is bouncing off your subject and then back into the lens. You can also go into settings. You can ISO lock, so that if you only want to shoot in, say, like 100 ISO, then you can do that, and then just the other two settings will change. The EV is always adjusted by ISO. You can turn that on or off. You can either do full stops, or you can turn that off and then go to your third stops. You can also calibrate reflected mode calibration, incident mode calibration. You can set limits based on what lens you're using. One of the best handiest features of this thing is the fact that it has lens presets. So if you have a bag full of lenses and you want to know what your focal distance is going to be for each one, you can just set in the focal distance, the lens's maximum aperture, and then you can also set your film and sensor size, and you can get exactly what your hyperfocal distance is going to be for any lens that you own. You can also do like this. You can set it up so that you can measure the entire thing. You can tap that center area, and then you just tap, and then you can spot meter, and then you hit measure, and then it gives you your reading. Again, like I said, you can hit these lens presets down here at the bottom, and it will put you where you need to be. So if you were going to shoot this image at a 1.4 and you were going to shoot the image at a 400 ISO, it'll tell you your speed, but it'll also give you your hyperfocal distance for that particular setup. So for 16 millimeters on an APS-C at 1.4, your hyperfocal distance is going to be 10.2 meters. Pretty handy. You can also shift this thing here in the middle, which is your exposure compensation. You can shift it more to the left and get a more low-key shot, or you can shift it over to the right and get a more high-key shot. You can also tap this side. It will also tell you what your exposure value is, and also tell you your dynamic range. So extremely handy. You can also do infrared if you tap this back up here at the top middle. So if you're wanting to get some exposure values for your infrared photography, it's available to you. And if you happen to be a fan of old school, you can click on classic and you can swap back over to an old school light meter, where you set your ISO here on the left side and tell it what your ISO settings are. You can measure the light, and it will automatically shift this brown ring and set it to whatever f-stop you need to be in, and at that shutter speed based on your film speed. So extremely easy. That's all I've got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this little app, and if you don't have it or you think you might want it, you can pick it up on the App Store. I don't get anything from making this video, so just giving this video a thumbs up or sharing it on the internet with your friends, family, colleagues, all that stuff really does help me out. So at any rate, guys, thanks again for stopping here and hanging out with me today. I'm your host, Mark Puckett, and I will see you guys again on the next one. Peace.